Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first week of RC100. Arguably the funnest class that you'll have. No, I'm kidding. I'm being a little biased here. But yeah, no, welcome to week one, RC100. I know that I've already presented a video in the beginning with Dr. Shrivastava that kind of gives you guys a little bit of a framework about my background, so on and so forth. This video's intent is to prepare you for your first week and subsequent weeks. We're going to do a brief overview of the structure. So let's start with your homepage. Many of you, well, if you're watching this video, then you've had access to your Moodle platform. So your platform will look something very similar to this. Obviously, as an instructor and designer, I'm in a different type of mode for editing purposes. But I wanted to show you that when you very first open the page, you have all your tabs right here on the left-hand side. And I'm wondering if my mouse, yeah. You have all your tabs here on the left-hand side that will open up, but you'll notice they have a lock and key symbol. What I have done is I have set days that restrict the timing for those weeks to be opened. Generally speaking, they will not normally be available until Mondays. However, I have allowed the courses to open up the Sunday of the week prior of the week, if that makes any sense. So there's a one-day overlap every week as far as access is concerned. With that being said, I want you guys to note that you see the very first file or bullet, or whatever you'd like to call it, is the RC100 syllabi or syllabus, right? So you will note if we scroll down that on my end, it will show you that you cannot do your first assignment until you have opened the RC100 syllabus. So if you look right there at the bottom, it's popping up and down on the screen now. Not available unless the activity RC100 syllabus is marked complete. I need you guys to view, and you really should read the syllabus because it gives you the expectations of what's going to happen in the course, so on and so forth. A lot of breakdown of the assignments as well. So after that, you see the videos. You click on that, you'll see yours truly with a lot more facial hair. You can always tell when I'm working at the hospital and not. I like to have a tight fit when I'm working with TB patients. So I just recently got out of a stint of working with some sick patients. I like a tight fitting mask. But you'll watch these videos here. You'll have access to these. But let's take a look. I should have it available for you. I do. When you click on that syllabus page, oftentimes it will take the place of the window that you're in. So I like to suggest to people, go ahead and just right-click over the page and say Open in New Tab. That way you don't lose your spot. But this is what the syllabus looks like. You can see you have all my information there. You can reach out to me. It tells you all the learning objectives, the books, the assignments, the point breakdown, and the list goes on. Going back to our class, let's go ahead and navigate to week one, which is where we are at now. So if I were to go over to the left-hand side and click week one, you'll notice that we have a drop-down. So we have week one, the early history of respiratory care. We have week one lecture, week one discussion forum, video links and additional material, and chapter one quiz. Looking at week one on the main page here, because again, we can close the course index just to make it a little bit bigger here. But you will see right here at the top, not available until the activity RC100 syllabi or syllabus is marked complete. This is going to be your area where we give a breakdown of what's going to happen during the week, right? Here's the objectives that come straight out of the book in chapter one. The lecture that I have for you guys is really designed for you to be successful on the quiz. So for RC100, I provide you guys with a video PowerPoint of a breakdown of each section of each chapter. And you'll hear me give hints and clues about opportunities, which is a keyword for quiz, that you may see at the end of the week when it comes to taking your quiz. And that's notated in here. I do believe in the recordings because it's been a little while since I've watched these recordings, but I do believe I share that information directly in the lecture itself. So Christina and I had much dialogue about this, and the lecture is going to be available all week long. And actually for the life of the course that you're here, you'll be able to go back and watch a lecture if that's what you like to do as your study guide. But I really encourage you to do the reading first, kind of highlight areas that you believe you might have questions on. Then watch the lecture, because a lot of those questions will be answered in the lecture. Then following that, if you have questions, reach out, please. Or if you have comments, concerns, if in the video you say, hey, what is going on? You left it on record, your kids were yelling in the background. Please let me know, guys, okay? We've screened them a few times, so I don't believe that any of that's taking place. But again, we love the feedback. In addition, you'll note that technically speaking, your first assignment is to log in and tell us something about yourself, okay? And we need that for financial aid. Financial aid needs a singular post that shows that the student has been marked present on the first day of class. And the way that we're doing that is through this post. And I know Christina and I had shared that with you guys during orientation. But we're going to scroll back down and we talked about the lecture. Let's talk a little bit about the forum. So the forum is going to be the platform where we all regularly communicate as a group. Now, this is an assignment and it has points that are attached to it. If you're to navigate over to your syllabi, you'll see what those points are. And you'll see for week 1, what I tell you guys is this discussion forum, I want you to locate a historical figure in respiratory care and share a summary of that individual and their contribution to the field of respiratory care. I give you guys just a very broad spectrum because our field is a little bit of a niche, so I don't want there to be just this, this huge challenge to find an individual. So I give you a very broad spectrum, okay? And you can pick anyone. And I say responses need to be substantive and at least 200 words. And if you quote from the book, you must cite in APA format. You must also read at least one peer's post and substantively comment on it with a response of at least 100 words. So, this is 2 posts in the discussion forum per week. That is the very bare minimum, okay? They're both graded, okay? Let's talk about the first post, 200 words. I'm going to know if you have 200 words or not because the way that this software works counts everything. And I'm going to read through them. I'm not going to tick each one by one. It generates all of this for me already on this platform, which is really nice. APA. I encourage you guys, and I will provide a link this week, or I put it in this forum once we have our first post, where you can go to an APA format citing generator. I encourage you to do this. In my research papers, it's something that was recommended to me until I finally got so used to the information that was requested of me that I found a way to do it through Word. But essentially, you find your resource, you go to this website, you copy the information that they ask you in this resource, and it generates a citation for you. If you're taking content from something that is not your own, it must be cited. So you put the last person's name on the site with the date, in parentheses, next to the quote. And at the very bottom of your post, you need to have the citation where that information came from. Now, I'm not asking you guys to have any cites for the comments that you make on others, but you need to have commentary that's valuable or that sparks the conversation. If you're saying in 100 words, I really like your post, it really resonates with me, this is awesome, I can't wait to tell someone about this, and that's all the information you're putting in there, that's not good. Okay, what we're looking for is material that's engaging so that other people want to engage in the conversation. And the discussion just goes on from that point. That is the discussion forum. Let's navigate back. And I like the index. Some people like, if you're working on a smaller screen, my setup that I have right now, you see me turning around, I have got the setup here in my house. Thank you, Amazon, because it was cheap, but I have 3 screens that are set up here with a 4th optional in the corner, and I have a light here. I don't know if you can see the shadows. Very user-friendly, so to speak, but I like to have the course index open because it gives me fast action navigation. It's up to you guys whether you want to use it or not. It's not a big deal. Last item that we have for week 1. And you will note we're going to cover 8 chapters in 15 weeks. So not every week is going to have a quiz, okay? But at the end of each chapter, you will have a quiz. And in week 1, we will read the whole chapter, or whole chapter 1, and you will note that you have your first quiz, which will be available starting Friday at 12 a.m. until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Okay? It is imperative that you guys take these exams. Okay? You do not want to miss an exam. I give you guys a very broad time spectrum to do these things because based upon the orientation and the individual interviews that we've all had with each other, some people work night shifts, some people work day shifts, some people work weekends, some people work weekdays. I wanted to be as accommodating as possible to work within the limitations of your schedule. So you'll note that you have from Friday morning until the very last minute of Sunday night to take this exam. And all my tests will be that way with the exception of one, and that will be notated in week 14. And on that note, on the quiz note, you'll note here that it's saying that you have to use Proctorio. We talked about Proctorio already in orientation, and this is the software system that Moodle utilizes that makes sure you guys aren't cheating. Okay? I go over everything in such detail that there really isn't a need to cheat. Okay? I really want your work to be your own, and this is a foundational course where it's going to do more than give you a very basic overview of respiratory care. It's going to get you in the routine of what you need to do. I'm going to remind you guys that this is only a 1-unit course. And as we progress into the more challenging subject material, it is only going to get harder. And it's important to, at this time, develop good study habits, good communication with your instructor or program director, with your cohort, your team. There was some great suggestions about getting on WhatsApp. Let's talk about that in the forum if you guys aren't getting what you need to be successful in this class. Because again, this class is, I'm going to just say it's easier than all the rest. And it's just kind of getting those gears moving, finding out, rhythm, routine, and everything that needs to be there for you. Moving on from there, it's all pretty much the same layout. I try and make sure that it's the same layout so you guys can anticipate what the next steps are going to be. On that note, I'm going to go back to this one. I wish you all the best of luck. I'll be praying for you guys to be successful in this, and I will be available and open when you have questions or concerns. And if I don't have the answer, because I'm not saying I have all the answers, but if I don't have the answer, we will work together to find it. And I really look forward to working on this with you guys. This has been a dream of mine to get to this date, and I'm very happy to be sharing it with you all. So, have a wonderful day. Take a breath and get ready to become a respiratory therapist in the next 2 short years or short months, for that matter. Have a great one, guys. Bye.